basically my mission is kind of just to make sure that everybody has access to jazz, because it's America's, it's our major artistic contribution to the world. Now we can't claim that classical music started here. It didn't, a lot of the major visual arts movements didn't start here, but jazz is kind of uniquely American. So I want to make sure that kids have at least an appreciation for our musical history, here in the United States, and as well as giving them another creative outlet. So that was kind of the main impetus for starting it up. I knew how to do it, and I wanted to make sure that we had an opportunity to offer it here at the Art Center. I teach the kids enough that they can get started and learn how to at least improvise on their own, kind of get an authentic sound and get something that they're pleased with. And then from there, they can kind of take off on their own and add their own spin to it, so that, if my goal is that every kid who plays a solo in my band has a unique sound, just the actual tone that comes out of their horn to the melodic devices that they use. My goal is that they all sound like individuals, but still sound authentic to the sound of jazz. So, I try to teach them a bit about certain chord progressions that pop up in jazz, some of the unique scales to jazz, like using the Mixolydian or Dorian mode, and the blues scale, which was kind of introduced after the fact, but it's a great way to get kids playing with a sound that to them sounds like jazz. It's safe for them to fail here, and then learn from the failure, and then kind of apply it toward the next thing. If they play a wrong note, or they make an entrance at the wrong time, or something goes wrong with their instrument or their voice or whatever's going on, they know that everybody in the room is there supporting them, rather than trying to find an opportunity to tear them down. And I've been blown away by the camaraderie that builds up between the kids here. A lot of the kids don't know each other before they walk in the door. They all go to different schools in the area, or some have just moved to the area. And over the course of the year, they form these bonds and they become friends, and they learn how to play to function together as people and as musicians. And I think that's part of our mission as much as anything else, is to let kids know that they can feel comfortable here. It's okay to be who you are, express who you are, and share that with the world. I think that's a great thing. That's a great gift that we can give to the community here at the Art Center, is allowing for that expression. I want people to realize that jazz is for everyone. And so you don't be limited by your musical experiences or what instrument you play, or anything like that. Don't be scared of it. Jazz can be very intimidating to people who aren't familiar with it, and once you find out what it's all about, it can make a lot more sense. And I think that would be a great thing, to have a larger band and a wider variety of instrumentations, and just have it be a place for everybody, where they can come in and express themselves musically and learn something while they're here. There's a collection of musicians who are really trying to give jazz a strong foothold in northern Michigan, and I think that's incredibly important, both from a musical and historical and cultural perspective. I think more jazz is always a good thing. I think jazz is a wide enough umbrella that, I say sometimes there's so much music that qualifies as jazz, that if there is not one single jazz tune that you don't want, that if you can't find a jazz tune that you like in the midst of all of the different styles, it's possible you just don't like music. Because whatever you're into, I can find something that kind of connects to that and pulls you in. I mean, you've got bands like Radiohead using Charles Mingus as an influence and adding large horn sections, or Dixieland clarinet to what they're doing. So jazz has influenced basically everybody that anybody listens to. Rock and roll kind of came out of rock and roll and jazz are siblings. Rock didn't come out of jazz, but they both kind of share the blues as a parent. So I think it's a wide variety of it's a wide spreading genre of music. I think people need to be involved with it, and you know, I hope they're playing my bands, but if they're not going to play in my band, I hope they play jazz somewhere and have a good time doing it. And jazz is kind of strange if you don't know what it's about. It's kind of weird. But I think people should, once they get used to it, once they understand what it's really about, I think they'll enjoy it.